question is, who are you picking this week that's we haven't spoke of yet? Because there's two guys I can't imagine someone you've got better than that.
Well, I am picking the guy who is 7th on the PGA Tour in strokes gained total right now. He is coming off a 6th place finish at the Scottish last week, and I had picked him last week, and at one point thought, here we go, this is going to happen. I need him to erase the memory of his double bogey on the 72nd hole very quickly, but I think he will, because he's coming back to the area where he grew up. He grew up like 50 miles from the course. This is a real home event for Tommy Fleetwood at 25-1 this week. I am taking him as my outright favourite. He's been playing great. We've seen what fantastic shape he's been in. He almost won the Canadian Open. Of course, that Nick Taylor storybook ending, we can't really take anything away from that. It was Nick Taylor's all the way. But Tommy Fleetwood still searching for that elusive first victory on the PGA Tour, and his first major victory as well. I would go as far to say his game has never been in a better shape than it is right now. And I looked, he's been gaining strokes on the field in all areas, but over 11% of fairways compared to the field average last week at the Scottish. He knows the style of golf. He grew up playing links golf. We've seen him contend in the Open before. So I love Tommy Fleetwood this week at 25-1. I'm not backing down.
One of the names that's inconspicuously left out of our conversation thus far is Jon Rahm. And I have to say, well, there's a ton of golfers that we could be picking here, but Rahm, Rahm has a tendency to do exactly this. Nobody's bigger on Rahm. I had him winning Kapalua. I had him winning the Masters. But he sort of goes on and off a little bit during the season. I think he's still leading money winner on our tour, but left to right player exclusively, maybe a couple of draws. This course may require both, but I'm not on Rahm. What are you making of the messages we're hearing out of Rahm camp?
Well, he's 11-1 this week. He's now number 3 in the world, with Rory moving up to number 2 after that victory in Scotland last week. Looking at Rahm's stats, I mean, he's 9th in strokes gained off the tee, 3rd in approach, 31st around the green, which is going to be a big stat this week. I know that that's one that you were definitely looking at, that kind of scrambling stat. 14th in putting.
They're going to miss him. There's going to be some good iron shots that are going to miss.
Of course, because it's not about where you land the ball, it's where the ball ends up when you're playing this kind of golf. So,
and can you do anything with it is the question. Yeah. And also, Diane, when it gets very windy, it could get windy and could be very interesting. You don't have as much control over your ball. You're sort of more or less trying to hit the green rather than hit it at the pin if you're back there at 180 yards. And when you're playing in the wind, the ball can get away from you slightly, Diane, and then finish up in these awkward places. We do need some experience. Fleetwood's a good pick. He knows this course. He can pitch the ball. He beats down on these irons. You see him gripping down on those irons. Been working with Butch Harmon. Coulda, shoulda won the Canadian Open. Will it be the coronation for the Englishman this week in Tommy Fleetwood? That would be really something for them over there.
You know, I keep seeing the commercial on TV for the Open when Shane Lowry won at Royal Portrush, and they have Jerry and the Pacemakers, You'll Never Walk Alone playing, and him walking up to the 18th green with this look of elation on his face, the crowd behind him, and it gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Can you imagine how it would be if Tommy Fleetwood won this week? That's exactly how it would be. Very reminiscent of Shane Lowry winning at Royal Portrush. So, yeah.
He knows that. There'll be a fair bit of pressure on him. We talked about Rory. There's no pressure on him, but there is a ton of pressure on Rory, meaning that that's why he's skipping the press conference. That's why he's in great form. He knows he's in position, and that's going to be more pressure. He hasn't won a major in 10 years or 9 years, and this is his chance. So there is pressure on him. There is pressure on Fleetwood as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they can shrug it off, kind of like Scheffler does, just play golf and use the strategy to play this golf course.